what a week of international news. Lots has been happening. And I'm not sure if you've heard, because I would have thought, from where you're from in Ireland, but the Pope died. Did
Oh
you
yeah,
hear
of
about
course I've
that?
heard. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the excitement of announcing a new pope is something in Ireland. Like it's like the whole country goes really still, and they're all watching on the news, or they flow to Rome, and they're waiting for the smoke to come out to see if there's been a new pope announced. It's quite the ordeal.
Well, I mean, it's going to be chaos in Rome because it's the pilgrimage this year as well. So,
Oh fuck.
millions are flocking to Rome anyway this year. But now, with the funeral is on 26th. But yeah, it's also Rome's birthday as well. So it's like so much. I mean, I know that we're not in Rome, but obviously to me, it
Yeah.
means quite a lot because it's another home for me. But Rome is actually only 2,778 years old. Did you know that?
Whew, I tell you what, you got that number right off the top of your head. Yes, I did know it's younger than Australia. And sometimes when you
Yes.
say that to people, they completely will argue. They'll argue completely about that. And I'm like, no, no, no. You need to look into that because yeah, it became whole, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of like states before. So yeah, it was unified. But yeah, so that was on the 21st of April. So it's a big freaking week for Rome with the Pope, the
Also, it's
pilgrimage,
not, I mean,
the birthday.
yeah. And this Pope was quite loved. This Pope was very much loved all around the world. He's a massively loved Pope. I think he really adamantly, the young people, he really wanted to sing out. He wanted to try and make sure you weren't losing the young people. He wanted to try and change things up. He said things which made sense to the young people. So I mean, he's love, and that the work that he did in South America was huge. Did you know he used to be a bouncer
No,
for a
oh my God,
nightclub?
that's crazy.
Yeah, he was quite an interesting guy, and that movie, of course, you can watch that movie. What's it called with that Welsh
oh,
actor?
I don't know. Is it the one with the two
There's
popes?
Yeah, yeah, the two popes. That's
Oh, I
actually, I
haven't
think, what it's called.
I
Um,
haven't actually seen it,
that's
but
about him.
oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Oh, I'll
so
have
good.
to.
Oh, it's. I've actually only watched it recently.
Oh, interesting. Well, do you know anyone going
Mm.
over
Is it
anyway for the
written?
pilgrimage?
Oh, I definitely do not. I didn't. I haven't even asked, to be honest. No, I don't know anybody going.
Yeah, crazy. So yeah,
So
it's
Rome
all
is on
go.
fire. Rome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about, like, who's next up, or who is in the running for being the new pope, but it is quite interesting. The Irish really does come out of me, because I remember being a kid and like watching the smoke and stuff, and we're watching the news, and we're watching really carefully to what color it would be, and of course, like, the pope is there until they're dead, full stop. And so, how many moments like that can you have in your lifetime is a question mark. So Ireland goes still when, I mean, God, that's when I was a kid. I mean, no one might give a shit anymore. I don't know. I haven't lived in Ireland in 14 years. But I'm sure, yes, but they are sad and excited all rolled into one.
Yeah. Oh, well. And I was actually having a moment this week anyway of just, when you sometimes feel like it's, because I was seeing all this news of Rome and everything, and I was thinking, us in our little bubble in New Zealand, which we've spoken about before, of just, you feel so detached from the rest of the world, but also feeling a little Groundhog Day of just, when you like focusing so much on your possessions of just, making my house beautiful, growing the garden, you've had some work done on the salon, you focus on all these materialistic things, that it just took me back to, I remember when I first went traveling, and I'd rented a house in the UK, so I had loads of furniture, And I kept some of it and put it in my parents' loft, but the rest of it all got sold. And, I've done this multiple times since. But the feeling, I remember when I first went away, I went to Australia, and the feeling of I literally just have what's in my backpack. The freedom of it. And it just made me think, wow.
Because even thinking about renting the house out and going traveling again, because so much effort has gone into the garden and stuff, you're like, ooh, will they look after the garden? Or, ooh, will they look after the house? And then you kind of end up feeling quite attached to it. When you pointed out recently, again, we built that house to be small with as low mortgage as we possibly could. So we could close the doors and go whenever we want.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you get so attached, and that freedom of just having what's on your back is something I think we'll always crave, that because we did it.
Yeah. And
But what do we do? What do we do?
It's that feeling of actually living rather than, just constantly, well, I've got to get this done and this is on the list and have I ticked this off and, this is my project. And it's
There's
such a weird zone to be in. Well, yeah, but you feel so inspired because you have a purpose and direction. But, when you put it all down or get rid of it all and just go with no, attachments. I mean, we talked as well in the last episode about safety nets and things. When you don't have any of them and you just have that absolute freedom of actually living and doing something rather than, like when you die, the house would just get sold and no one would care. But, actually experiencing a life. Oh, I don't know. I've been having moments about it this week of just, remember that?
Clearly. I think so is Sandro, to be honest. He's so cold. He's so cold. I love the cold, right? So I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, what a fresh morning. I went out at 5 a.m. this morning to get some wood to light the fire. And the stars were all out and the Milky Way is going over my house and it's crisp and it's fresh and nothing is even frozen over yet. It didn't freeze until about 6-7 o'clock. And then he's gone off to work in the Athol shop and he comes back and he's just, all he's talked about every morning is how cold he is. But yet he's wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, put some clothes on. Like, I had the fire lighting, the house was warm, it was all lovely and cozy. And he's still like, I'm so cold, I'm so cold.
He sounds like
we're going to.
He sounds like my cat Pepper. She's absolutely hilarious. She's not liking this cold weather at the moment, and I've got an electric heater in the bedroom. So, like, when I start to open my eyes, I just kind of turn it on. Then I come into the house, feed them, make my coffee, and then she runs straight back to the bedroom, and she's literally right next to the electric heater, just going, "Oh my God."
That's Sandro.
Yeah.
I left him this morning sitting in front of the fire, like sorting out his garlic, like just fully nearly sitting on the fire. And I'm like, we're going to have a really serious conversation about not living in a winter if that's what he's going to be like. Because honestly, you get sick of listening to it. Like, yes, it's cold. It's autumn. It's coming into winter. I love it. I feel fresh. I feel cleansed. I feel like the air is fucking beautiful. And I love that. And I'm just like, we're going to have a serious conversation about what we do in the winter. With the market garden, we can't put it to sleep. And he is going off. He's going to Phuket. He's going up to Wales. He's going to like 40 plus degrees. Yeah, he's going to Phuket to like jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
Something. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu something.
Everyone's like, when's he going? I was like, I have no idea. And I'm really glad that he's going to do that. Like, because I'm fine in the winter. Like, I am cruising. I'll cruise through it. I love seeing it then coming to spring. But we're definitely going to have to talk about what we got to do. Like, the sooner you get that house in Greece or Italy, the better, because we can just go to you.
About to say. I was just about to say, you're going to be on my case of, have you sold the house yet? Have you sold the house yet? Like, we need somewhere to go in the winter.
have you rented someplace over there like with plenty of space? And I'm fine with doing that as well. But like you said, with the whole Groundhog Day, we've got processions. He's got loads of stuff. He's got a container full of things. We've got a house. We've got the cats. We've got the chickens. So it's finding, like, I was thinking more like getting involved in the house swap. He's, I don't want anyone in my house. I'm like, oh my god, it's like, you have to lean into something.
Yeah.
Lean
Because
into
yeah,
something. I'm
right
sure.
back before you even began on the journey of the house, the whole planning stage for you guys was, we want somewhere where we can leave for a couple of months and not have to put our stuff in storage. And that was the whole reason you built the house, the style you built it, the size, everything about it, why you wanted to subdivide someone else's land at a cheaper cost was all purely. And I remember it was when he was still barbering, and you were talking about how, you could just go and do like pop-up renter chairs in Australia, or these conversations were quite deep, that you were proper planning. And now it's like, but we all do it, we all get really engrossed in our life and are just like, oh my god, well, no, I couldn't possibly leave it, like I couldn't let anyone use my house.
Yeah.
And you know it's, you get so attached. And even like, I was walking around the garden the other day showing my mum, like, how everything's grown. She was like, oh, you're never gonna leave, are you? And I was like, no, 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 I am. But it's true, I am really attached, I love it.
Yeah. And I love it too. It absolutely, I love it. So it's just finding what fits, right? It finding some kind of a routine. Like we said last week, jumping off the cliff. There's always a cliff to jump off. We need to sit down, we need to discuss. Obviously it's too late now. We can't sow our seeds for this winter because we're coming into it. But like we'll need to sit down next winter and we need to discuss maybe doing a house swap. Because if you can give someone the house, the car, they're 45 minutes outside of Queenstown, which is amazing. And then they look after our animals, we look after theirs. And, that kind of stuff. We need to discuss what suits us and
Yeah.
how we would like to do that, because we are attached, and it is hard to detach. And who the fuck wants to come to winter for a house swap?
Well, some people
Maybe
do
someone
though.
who likes skiing. Oh,
Yeah.
they might want to go skiing or snowboarding. Like we are not that far from the mountains. So of course, like that might be good to implement. And trying to get him to detach, because as much as we had those discussions, like you said at the start, he's so attached. He's attached to his fucking rake. He's attached to his chainsaw. Like he's attached to these things that his axes. I mean, how many axes do you need? Whereas for me and you, I think we'd be able to pack a bag easier and leave. Now, obviously, with the salon, I'm saying that more got to do with the household. The salon is obviously a whole different kettle of fish. You can't just shut it down. Or maybe you could. I mean, I'm happy to go for 6 weeks. He can go for 2 or 3 months. What difference does it make? And if he really gets to the point where winter is actually affecting him that much, then go up to his family. Like he can go to summer in Wales and he can hang
Is
out
there
with
a
his
summer in
family.
Wales?
Very true. Fly over and back to Europe. Fly over and back to Europe. No, you're right. Is there a summer in Wales? Well, at least it's not bloody, I suppose, 1 degree. Well, maybe it
But
is. It is.
I think as well, like it's a lot to do with, we've put a lot of our souls into these places and our energy. And, we've built these goals around these possessions. We're going to call them possessions. We're not going to call them houses or gardens or things. They're possessions. All of them are just possessions. And, we've put everything into them. And even like, I spent the whole of the last year decorating this entire house inside and out and doing the garden. It was my pure focus for the year of trying to get it done in the first year. And I did it. And then, like I've spoke about, I've had the random days off where I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
to. And I had one day where I read my book in the morning. It was a really sunny morning. I read the book, then I cleaned the car. And you were like, oh, you had a day off like normal people. But it felt weird because I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't
Yeah.
have this goal, and it was kind of this lull after
Yeah.
being so busy and pouring my soul into something, a possession, not even something meaningful.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, really, do we own anything as well? I mean, when you have that focus and you have that goal, there's an element of like the feeling of achieving it, like, is motivating and it's amazing, and you're just fucking foot to the floor and it's
Yeah.
exciting. And then the thing is, you reach it, and then you can have this kind of flatness afterwards. And next thing is your routine goes out the window, your pity party starts creeping in, you start feeling sorry for yourself, like all of these different things. And I feel like it's really important to have these minute little goals to wind yourself down. And I was very conscious of this recently when I did that really hard, crazy 7 weeks to pay that tax bill. And I remember thinking, like, I'm fucking buzzing. Look at that figure coming up. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Even though I robbed half a sandwich, but that's okay. I made it.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Oh, my God. I totally forgot you did that. You literally cleared out our bank account. And I messaged you and was like, please tell me that you've taken this money because I can't figure out where it's gone.
by accident, I completely cleaned out the half a sandwich bank account because I was just in such a fucking, I was like, boom, 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 boom. And obviously I paid it back, but I didn't even realize I did it until you said it.
Robbing
And
us
I was very
blind, you were,
conscious.
woman.
I know. And I even said to myself, this, I'm going to have a come down. It's going to be real fucking hard after I reach this target. I'm going to have to start consciously preparing for the come down. And even though I tried to prepare for it, I still I completely just fell apart afterwards. I was like, oh my God, it's never ending. Why? Why? And I just had this fucking, I was so furious. And then I was crying. And then I was furious. And Sandra was so lenient, obviously, throughout that time, knowing I was putting my foot to the floor and doing what I had to do to get shit done. And then, of course, like when that all stopped, he was like, are you back yet? Are we going to spend all this time together again? Like, and obviously I felt that pressure, and winding down from it is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
and so I tried to implement these small goals to make sure that my mind was still focusing on something. And I was like, I even got put off listening to books and all of these little things that made my day very joyful,
Mm.
and that 10 minutes of working out. And I tried to say to myself, it's okay, Gráinne, like, you're not going to give yourself a hard time. You're just going to give yourself a week to get your shit back on track. But my God, you do plummet real hard. So what are you going to
Yeah.
do? What are you implementing now? Because obviously, like, you have really gotten the house to kind of where you really wanted
I
it.
know. The only things left really are stuff I can't do, like the flooring, and I'd love to get new windows and doors, but hey. But yeah, so the house is probably going to be on hold for a little while, but then, what I was using the house as kind of a shield from was doing my courses, because I kept going, oh no, but the house is more important. I need to spend all my spare time doing the house, and that's the goal, is to move away, but I can't move away unless I have the income. So I do need the courses. So I actually completed one, which I'm so excited about. So that's going to be going live soon. So now my focus really is I've got to get myself in the mindset, and I want to, work on the podcast more and stuff. So I need to kind of retrain my brain on, days off are filming stuff for the podcast, like all the challenges and stuff we want to do, and doing the courses and trying to get, rather than, it's hard to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, change course of your brain, of going,
Yeah.
right, it's not physical activity today. It's, I need to record videos and write scripts and plan things and strategize, which is hard doing on top of the fact that I do that for everyone else in the week, to then do it for me on my days off. But I said to you the other week, and I think I mentioned it last week on the pod, that I said to a friend, when I was like, God, I'm just dreaming of the day when, you know, me and Gráinne are, you know, getting fully paid to do the podcast, and I've got my courses making money in the background, and I'm back doing the retreats again. That is my life. And then I started to think, I'm not spending any time on those three things, like not proper time to make them grow. And it was like, Christ, you know, we're always doing these goal setting and things, whereas I didn't mention those. I mean, I mentioned the podcast, but not in the detail that I need to. That it's getting clear on what you want. And I think because we've been recording the manifesting challenge, it's really brought to life what I want, which is the point of the challenge.
Though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, your brain is so scrambled. It's so good to be able to pinpoint that. And like you were saying about like it's hard nearly to do that on your day off because you do it for everybody else on your work days. Yeah, that's why my hair looks like shit. Because I spend so much time doing other people's hair that when it comes to like putting a color in mine, I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Like tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to have my own hair looking.
Yeah, that's the death of tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, it's the death.
And you know,
of tomorrow.
Sometimes I say it in Italian just to make it feel a bit more powerful, like domani, domani. And it's like, no, it's still not going to happen.
Yeah. It's still not, yeah. It doesn't matter how you fucking say it. And even like you were I was saying about like the focus and the goals. Obviously, ours are very much like at the moment business orientated, but it's the same with booking a holiday. You're happy to go to work, you're saving for the holiday, you've booked it, you're excited for the holiday. And then when people come back from the holiday, they're like, oh, they're so deflated, even though they've had the best time ever. They've spent time with their family and it's amazing. But you come back feeling like you need another holiday, right? And there is that element. It's the same thing. Like you kind of always
it's the adrenaline.
Need to have.
You're missing the adrenaline.
Yes. Yeah. So all these things can be put into how you live your life. Like we're just obviously describing how we're saying it towards our life, but everyone can implement these feelings. And we're still working on how we're figuring it out. But I love the fact that one of my things in the goal party was I wanted to be more aware of myself this year. So even just talking about it and recognizing the fact that I felt really flat afterwards, recognizing the fact that we have possessions and that we need to think past that so that we can make plans that make our life fulfilled. You know, we have the itch of travel in our bones, but we want to take that to the next level because just sure as hell, I'm not going back to backpacking, right? Like,
oh God, no!
I want wheels on my I want wheels on my bag, thank you.
Yes, and I want a lovely hotel that has nice smelling sheets and ensuite, and you know.
Even for Sandra, like with Dubai, I said, don't cheap out. It's going to literally be so hot there. You need something decent. You need to be aware of the fact that you're going to need a good hotel with air conditioning, with a rooftop pool, all because it might be too hot to even leave the hotel.
Yeah.
Luxury, people.
Luxury. And, you know, that goes back to me with my flights. Like I was talking to a friend the other night, and so important for me now is that I like to upgrade that flight. I mean, not necessarily to business or first class, but, you know, even the economy plus, like, and, you know, you've been dabbling with the idea of maybe a trip sometime. And I was like, please just book economy plus, like experience it because it will make you feel elevated. And it's that whole thing. We've spoken about it in so many different contexts that, you know, feeling who you want to be is so powerful to get you there. And again, that goes back to like the manifesting challenge that we're doing of, you know, believing it's already happened and talking in the present tense and stuff. And, you know, by doing those small upgrades or big upgrades, you actually bring it forward.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously I do feel like my mind is leveling up with the books that we're reading / listening to, because I have 100%. Gone with the two, 100%. I think the two of us had a very similar week with the same person, but in very different ways. I finished listening to The Girls That Invest, and
Oh,
you
yes.
actually did one of her free seminars.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
You found that
It was great.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. Well, because I've started doing the Rich Dad Poor Dad Dad project with my niece who turned 18, and part of her present was I bought her the book, and we've opened up an investment account, and she's going to start learning how to buy shares and watch the market and things like that. And by God, she has taken this on like as if, a fucking ball to a red flag. It's insane. She's like, I mean, we literally started on Monday, and by Thursday, she's read the first 2 chapters, written all her notes, and watched tutorials on how to use the Shares app. That I was like, oh
I
my
truly
gosh,
think
right, we need a phone call. I need to start putting money in, like, because I'm going to put
yes,
money in her account every time she finishes a chapter, and then we talk about it, and then eventually, she'll be putting her own money in, but just so she can learn how to use it. And yeah,
I
another
honestly have
thing
shivers up my spine.
I know, it's
Shivers up my
just,
spine for what you're doing for her. You're going to change
yeah,
the trajectory of her life without a shadow of a doubt. I know that. Like I know that deep down that you're going to change her. You're going to change her thought process completely.
yeah. Well, I mean, that was the plan. And actually it was your idea on the podcast. Um, but
Oh, thanks.
she's just doing so well, and I'm loving that she's excited about this and encouraged. Like, it's not like I'm forcing her. She's wanting to learn this, and like I said to her, I was like, me and your mum are just starting to do this in our 40s, whereas you're doing this at 18. So even if the money we put in together you don't do anything with and just leave it there, by the time you're 40, that money would have grown
Yeah,
massively. That,
yeah.
Christ, I wish somebody did this with me. But on that
Even if
webinar,
what she
sorry.
puts in, go on.
Yeah, you carry on.
No, but because she's 18, like, so in the book, we're going back to it anyway. Don't worry, I'm not veering off. In the book, Girls That Invest, she explains that if you're in your early 20s, even younger, oh my God, the fact that she's 18, if they put in even a third of what we put in now, they're still going to triple, quadruple
Yeah,
with that compound effect compared to us putting in 2/3 more. Like,
yeah.
and we're still going to only have a fraction of what she's going to have. It's
Mm.
incredible. The book is a bit overwhelming. I think I would have liked to have done the seminar as well. The book was overwhelming in parts. It really is for beginners. And fucking Christ, holy God, it's a different
Jesus,
world. It
Mary
is
and
a different
Joseph.
world. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Tato. Not many will get that. So it is absolute, but it's really she goes over the whole history of it and how and the difference of people thinking it's like gambling. She actually makes you more secure in the fact that like doing it it is a good thing. It's a good thing. Don't panic. Watch it. How to grow it. How to diversitize it, and all of these fun things. She's a very clever girl. She's what age is she?
Mm.
She's
I'm
like
not
what,
sure. I don't think
30?
she's hit 30 yet.
Oh, Jesus
Um,
Christ.
But yeah, she's pretty cool. But she also in the webinar, she had used a graph from an app that she used, and I don't think it was part of the webinar at all. It was an accidental slip of a comment that she said the app that she was using to get this chart, and it was called Spendy with 2 E's. And so I downloaded it, and it basically you link it to your bank account, and it automatically categorizes all your spending and puts it all in so you can see each month or each week, however you organize it, or sort it. You can see how much you're spending on everything. Like I can see my renovations, subscriptions like Netflix and Neon, groceries, yeah, like mortgage and insurances. Like it splits it all up. So I then spent yesterday just making sure everything was in the right category and having a full overview of my spending a month, which is terrifying because, like, I mean, really, I mean, all of us do it. That even when I looked at the renovations for this month, Like, I mean, we just did last weekend my laundry room. So I know I spent some money at Mitre 10 getting some wood and materials and stuff. But I didn't realize I'd also done some stuff at the start of the month as well, because I'd forgotten about that, because that was 3 weeks ago. And you just forget how much you're spending.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm spending a lot of money. Like, I need to start. And in this app, you can also set budgets. So I'm doing now like a budget for the renovation. So I only do like one thing a month.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm it's not about slowing it down. It's about managing my money so I've got more money to put in the investments. Because I'm actually, I feel
I
like I'm on a
love
roll
that.
at the moment with the investing and the shares. You know, I'm really starting to pay attention to, I think, you know, the massive dip in the financial market has been a real eye opener in what to pick. And, you know, it is the age old question of nobody knows, you know, what you should be investing in, because you can't read the future. But I feel like I'm winning, which is a
Good
funny.
for you.
Well, yeah, I do feel good, and I've picked certain things, and you know, I'm trying not to like panic on ones that are dropping massively, because I've got ones that are winning so much they're holding everything up, and my plan isn't to just cash it out in a year, it's to cash it out in like 10 years. But yeah, it's been really
Absolutely.
good. But
But
that
you
app,
really need to read the book.
yeah, well, that is next on the list. But yeah, this app, I would highly recommend everyone get it. It's called Spendy with 2 E's. It it was amazing. Like, I mean, it is amazing, and I feel like it's going to change everything for me, of just planning my money a bit better rather than just sporadically buying something online, or you know, I'm going to do the
Oh
laundry
my
room this
God, who
weekend.
are we? Look at us. I mean, if anyone, I mean, listen, I'm going to shout out one of our friends. If Jamie Dice could hear us now, because I'm sure
Well,
he's just like those two.
but it's, I mean, it goes back to that whole thing that we say time and time again. If you don't respect the money that's going out, how can you expect money to come back in? You have to pay attention to the tiny details of how much did you spend more? Why did you spend more? Like, if you're not paying attention to it, then it won't come back to you. And it's so
Yeah.
key. So, yeah, I highly recommend this app that she accidentally slipped up on her webinar. It was great.
So if I did that, let's say, with my account, but it's got the business, will it do the business and everything?
So yeah, well, it brings in all. So like, I connected my ASB, like you log into your bank,
Yeah.
and so it brought through all my accounts. So I just turned off the business and the half sandwich one, and so I just have my personal one. But you can have different wallets, so you can turn on other accounts and organize it for all of them. But it's just having that view. Like, I mean, you know, you can have that view in Zero and other things, but having that view that you don't have to manually do, that it all falls into its pocket and you can just see an overview, and also look through months to see what your average is. Because, you know, some months you spend a bit more. Like last month, I spent a lot more shopping because I bought the bed, the mattress, the armchair, you know, so my shopping was like over 2 grand. Whereas normally it's not that high. So it's good to be able to flip really quickly and see each month to get an average of, right, on average, I spend this much on groceries. Or it was incredible. Like,
I
highly
think
recommend it to everyone.
I think everyone should do it anyway. I mean, even if they're not doing it with the app, like our businesses are under zero anyway, so we can obviously get our businesses up and broken down with the profit and loss in zero. But I think everyone should be doing it personally, because a lady told me last night, and I have not looked into this personally, but she said they have announced that like the inflation this year will be 7% in New Zealand. Like that's a hell
Wow.
of a lot with people already struggling. That's a lot of percentage. So I think everyone needs to start looking at where they're spending their money and
Yeah.
prioritize where they want to spend it, or where they can look at their blind spots. Because I do that with the business, because my prices went up for Q&A, like my bill, to get my products in and my color in. And instead of putting it on the client, I went to my zero and I looked at my profit and loss, and I saw that where could I find blind spots? Because I can't just, you can't just be always struggling, without looking at any of it, because that becomes overwhelming. So
Yeah.
I think it's great that you brought this up at the perfect time, I think. I think everyone should get this app, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to have a look at mine. I don't spend a
Yeah.
penny. I only spend.
No, I know, but you'll be surprised because I
I
thought in
know.
certain areas of my life, I was thinking, well, I don't spend so much on that. But I'd like food and drink, for example. I don't, I always say to people, but I clearly do. I say that I never leave the house, but actually my food and drink, like eating food and having drinks out of the house, is quite high every month. And I'm like, how? Like, I feel like I never go out because you can't remember. Like, you forget how much you do go out, like where you have the odd glass of wine with a friend down the pub, or you get a kebab, or, like, you forget how much you actually do that. And even like, us going to Airburn that week, we spent quite a lot of money that day.
And
But
how
I
much
didn't
is a
think
glass of
about it because
wine?
I didn't check afterwards of how much did we actually spend yesterday. I just, put it down to a
Yeah.
really good day. But then when I was flicking through the months and I was like, why is that one high? Ah, we went to Airburn, me and Gráinne. When we're together, we spend money. But
Oh yeah.
it's being aware of it makes you think about it when you are out next, and you think, do you know what? My budget is only this much for food and drink. I've already spent this
Yeah.
much because I can see it in my app. Tonight, I'm not going to go crazy. You have a bit more awareness. But it's also, I think, key for like subscriptions and stuff. We forget how much crap we sign up to. And, it might be $5 a month coming out. And you think, oh, that's nothing. But you have 10 of them. Suddenly it's something. And that
Yeah.
money could go towards investing in shares rather than something you don't use.
Oh my God, absolutely. And like investing it in shares, and it's more fun. You're watching the market, it'll compound. I don't know, you're dead right. I mean, being aware of what you're spending is key, because also, like, you might think to yourself, okay, what can I do to make that budget a bit higher this month? Because I know I've got
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. So you do
Yeah. What can I
extra. You won't
maneuver?
just dip into some, yeah. Yeah, what can I maneuver? What can I change? What can I do less with here? And what can I, you're just being more aware of it. I mean, God, I mean, when nobody said to us, okay, it's time to start adulting now. I'm
I
like,
know.
crap. Yeah,
And, I
I
used
know, it's
to, I mean,
crazy.
I've always kind of looked at my spending, but it would be a manual task that I do where I go from my bank account, put an Excel sheet and sort it into the categories. And, although that's the same thing as this app, the effort of doing it means I don't do it as often, whereas this app is automatically doing it for me now. So I just have to open it and can see it. And, it's not like we're taking any trips to the moon or anything like Katy Perry.
Oh my God. Talk to me, because I am out of the loop. I've seen some funny things on Instagram, that's for sure and certain. But what the fuck? Why? How? What? Where? And when?
I don't know. It was supposed to be to like empower women, a group of women. Jeff Bezos organized it, that they went up in this capsule, saw planet Earth, and came back down. I don't know. I mean, there's all the rumors that it was a total fake. Like, there's the shot of when they landed, they opened the door from the inside, and apparently you can't do that. And then, they quickly closed it, and Jeff Bezos went up there with a big crank thing to open the door because that's the only way you can open it. So there was a lot of slip ups, but yeah, Katy Perry was just quite funny. I mean, apart from the fact that she's stolen my husband, but she she like got down and was like, oh my God, I just have such wonderful gratitude for love. And, it's
I
all been a bit,
actually don't mind her. I couldn't see. I don't. I can't.
I don't
I
mind
just
her.
can't see why she would lie. I can see she would have the balls to give something like that a go, but I can't see why she would lie. Like, maybe she did. I don't
I
know.
don't
And like,
know. I
obviously I
mean,
don't
did they
fucking
even,
know her.
if it was fake, did they know it was fake? Maybe they didn't know.
See, yeah,
I don't know.
I
I mean,
don't.
she's
I
got a young
mean,
child. Would you risk going up in a space mission that, not many people do, that you could explode and die when you've got a young child? I
oh,
don't know.
they only went up to the atmosphere. They didn't break out of anywhere. I mean, for fuck's sake, they didn't go very far. I mean, like, that's crazy. I mean, they didn't go very far. I think
Yeah.
if they did, they didn't go far. So, I mean, they got a little glimpse of planet Earth from a distance, but they didn't probably leave the fucking atmosphere.
Yeah, I
So, I
don't
mean,
think
if
they
they
do.
did it, they just had a little week. Yeah, I don't know, but some of the memes, some of the stuff is very funny. What did Gino? What did Gino say?
Oh, Gino's one is well, because there's this whole one of her, like when she comes down and this reporter is her like, well, I suppose you're an astronaut now, and then it flips to Jennifer Aniston in Friends, and it's like, oh, I went to the zoo and now I'm a koala bear. And then it goes to Gino where it's like, oh, well, if my mama had wheels, then she'd be a bike.
I love it, and I saw like let's not forget about Britney Spears, like from that
Oh, I
video
haven't
that
seen
she
that
did
one.
where she's like, oh, it's fucking great. Like, who went first, Britney or Katy Perry? Like, because Britney has a video from back in the day where she's wearing that red latex suit,
Oh,
where like
yeah.
this astronaut guy is in the video, and she ends up in space and all this stuff. It's obviously a video for a fucking it's a music video, but it's
Isn't
just
it? Oops, I
everyone
did
taking
it
the piss
again,
of
that
like
one.
who did it first. It's so good. They're all off
Well,
their
maybe me
fucking
and you will go
heads.
up to space one day and do the podcast from up there. What do you reckon?
Charlotte, I'd be happy in first class.